Mitchell Obi joins us tonight from Lagos. Dr. Mitchell Obi, thank you so much. Good to see you again. And I'm sure, like everybody else, you're still wondering that, look, 24 hours have elapsed. What is going on? Do we have an NFF? Has anybody resigned? We've not heard anything to that effect. What exactly is the state of things?
Thank you, and thank God it's Friday. And glad to hear you guys really take a peep at 24 hours, which we didn't know where it came from. And I don't know who issued the 24 hours deadline, but one thing is sure, the game can never be the same again in Nigeria, because the issues are beginning to find their place, and those who are supposed to initiate what should be the right balance in our football are beginning to look at themselves and ask themselves, can we continue this way? And I think the big question is no longer 24 hours. It is how we use the hours ahead to change the fortunes of Nigerian football. So 24 hours may have expired, but something tells me that if people are honorable, if people believe in the fair play, if people believe in the goodness of the game, then they have to look at themselves and say, it's time to do the job and be ready to serve the people the way the people want and the way the people deserve. More than anything else, they can't get to do the job if they are not ready to lose it. So if you are a sportsman, when you get to win, you should be ready to lose.
Well, but Mitchell, just to add to what you've been saying, and this is not the first time that we've had anti-graft agencies investigating Nigerian football. There was an issue in 2015, 2018, and 2019. In fact, there was even a case of asset seizures back then as well. Is this a play by government? Is it the usual gambit? Is it the usual hand that they throw into the mix whenever they are trying to instigate, as it were? Because I asked Chana Achero this yesterday, and he said, look, every time there's an election coming up in Nigerian football, this is when you see that EFCC and ICPC are set loose, and is always to catch a certain quarry. Are we seeing the same blueprint? It's a
very, very old tactics, my brother. It's a very old tactics of not only cajoling, but trying to instigate a particular direction and trying to maneuver to get the outcome that everybody wants. If government wants you to serve, they will go for you and ask you whether you want to be part of it. If government wants to arrest you, they will look for you wherever you are. And if government believes that you have something to contribute and you think you can contribute, why? You'll be welcome. So if government is after you, they use all the apparatus, and you never can fight government. And I think it's an old lesson. If you can't learn it, you'll never learn anything well. For football leaders, over time, when you lose the confidence of the people and you lose the confidence of even the government, it is honorable for you to say.
Unfortunately, we seem to be having some connection.
I have done my bit.
We seem to be having some connection issues with Mr. Dr. Mitchell Obi. But Tony, let me come to you. This is a very interesting story because the National Sports Commission has not confirmed that there was an ultimatum given. They've not confirmed that they've also cancelled the NFF elective congress that's supposed to happen next month as well. The NFF have not confirmed that they received an ultimatum or the congress will be moved as well. We're hearing so many stories flying around, but the interesting stories are these stories are coming from credible sources, right? Everybody, go on or Akpado no. He's a good journalist. The Guardian newspaper is also a credible platform. Aaron Akerejola is also a good journalist. Yeah, is also a credible platform.
You can only report to the degree of what you know, you know, and to the degree of what is acceptable in terms of how football is governed. So whether your platform is credible or not, there should be a lot more work, I mean, a lot more balance to what you put out there for people to understand, for people to read. Because sometimes you can put out some stories that are not, for me, up to scratch in terms of measuring up to accuracy and know. So I'm always very careful when it comes to issues like this because there are a lot of stories flying around. Some proven, some unproven. There's people throw it around, and because it catches,
you kind of get the impression that someone somewhere is fishing.
Yeah, because it catches your fancy, people ride on it, and at the end of the day, it doesn't just add up, you know. So that's why one has to be very, very careful with some of these stories going around. You know, the interesting thing about football, as Dr. Mitchell Obi, a respected senior, has said, is that this tactics is old.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting because it
has never worked.
It's an interesting cycle. Look, 2019 that you talked about, 2018 that you talked about, the man one of the persons at the receiving end of this kind of scrutiny is the man now in charge of the National Sports Commission.
Exactly.
You know, so we know how all of this panned out at the end of the day. And at the end of it all, I think we need to be careful not to create, just as Mitchell Obi said, create an environment that has become so toxic, an environment that is so unwelcoming to sponsors, to those who really want to, you know, add value to the game. Because at the end of the day, it becomes a political battle. It goes out of the
So many
everything that promotes fairness, transparency, honesty.
And the game itself.
And the game itself gets thrown out, and it becomes a political battle. It now becomes who is backing who. Because who has a stronger backer.
Exactly.
And who is... so it becomes...
Just to buttress your point, just a few days ago, the same embattled Ibrahim Guzo received an award from a newspaper, and in attendance were state governors and in fact,
that's not even
he went to Katsina State.
Yesterday, the Katsina State government received him.
And I gave him his backing. But we have Mitchell Obi back again.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, we hear this all the time, and it's unfortunate. How much damage does this do to the Nigerian football brand? You're also in the marketing and PR space as well. You hear these multiple cases of EFCC and chasing this one and so on.
Locking up, locking, painting the house.
How much damage is this doing to Nigerian football that no one seems to be paying attention to? You're shaking your head. I can't imagine.
It's so toxic, very, very toxic, I must tell you. And it's not helpful. I would have expected the Executive Committee of Nigerian Football Federation to go to the villa, the presidential villa, they were invited, to tell Nigerians that, look, they are sorry for what has happened to our game. They look forward to improving the game. And for now, they want to take a break so that those who can help arrange a fertile and very promising escape can go ahead and do it, and then we can come back. That is what I expected them to do, because their scorecard is very, very abysmal. It's not lifting at all. The network is not so good, but then I think the point has to be made that if you want to serve the game, you should be ready to take the outcome. And when you have a result that is not palatable, it's only good for you to say, I have done my bit. My bit is not what the people wanted. Let me take a break. And you can always come back. And that is the joy of the game, that you can always come back. But how many of us are ready to come back, especially if we have committed ourselves into different schemes? And that is what has made people see Nigerian football as a business that is out of the game.
It's interesting you say that, because basically what you're saying is that you like to see this executive committee resign. But in the history of Nigerian football, I have never seen an executive committee resign. You know,
just to add to what Mitchell Obi is saying. Look, the chairman of the National Sports Commission is a football man. Yeah. He was 8 years vice president of the Nigerian Football Federation, and maybe up to 10 years as LMC chairman and everything. The DG is also a football person. Yeah. So they understand that the National Sports Commission do not have the powers to stop the elections or to sack the NFF Executive Committee. They know that the best option that they have is to let these people resign on their own. And then you can, find a way to, bring wholesale changes. So I'm sure that all those stories of cancelling election
And being fair.
As I told someone, I just testing the waters. They know what to do if you want these guys to go away. You know? Yeah.
So you are very correct there. Yeah, because Shehu Diko I won't say he was a victim of the shenanigans that comes with government not wanting you to be in a particular position.
Yeah.
When Amaju Pinnick became president of Nigerian Football Federation, it was an opportunity that was created because the government thought that Shehu Diko had no business becoming president. And up to the last moment, even if he had a way of flying into
Warri,
or is it Warri?
Warri,
He had a way of flying into Warri and showing his face, he will have won that election. But government stopped him.
You know, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He knows.
I think it's frozen.
Michelle is absolutely correct.
Interference. Where do we draw the line?
When it suits you, it's intervention. When it doesn't suit you, it's interference. Michelle is absolutely right.
He's back again. He's back again. Sorry, Dr. Obi, please continue.
It's absolutely spot on. And you know, even up till 2022, 2023. Shehu Diko was still at the receiving end of of all these kind of witch hunts. Yeah. So, as a football person, I know that they understand what it means. They don't come out and say, "Look, resign." You walk behind the scene and maybe force the executive committee, you know, to resign. That's
how do you force an executive committee to resign?
Look, Tunde. It's
short of matching them,
it is very difficult
into the Kuje prison.
It is very difficult,
or confronting them at gunpoint. I don't see how that's possible.
It is very difficult when you have shown your hand too early, because they
now know exactly what to do.
They know exactly what you want to do, and then they
close ranks.
They go defensive, and it's difficult to break them. You know, but you play the long game if that's what your intentions are. And as Mitchell Obi said, our football is very unique. You can go in
and come back.
You can go out and come in, you know. So, but whatever you want to do, whatever you intend to do, don't create a toxic environment for the growth of the game. Whatever you want to do to yourselves, no problem. But always think about the game.
Always think about the game. Mitchell Obi is back. Dr. Obi, before we wrap this up, how do we resolve this now? Do you think, well, I don't think this board is going to resign. But what is the end game here? What do you think, in your opinion, you've been here for a while, what do you think will eventually happen?
It just takes 2 or 3 individuals within the executive committee to say they've resigned and others will follow a queue. You've seen how they are withdrawing letters of Infantino. That is how it goes. Just maybe one vice president saying, look, I am calling it a day. I can't stand all this.
I'm tired. It's just one person say, I'm tired.
I'm tired of all this to hide. Yeah, I'm tired. Let's have a good playing field and let the grass be green. And we can all aspire to come back when we have leveled the playing field. And that is what should happen. By next week, I think something will come up because their cup is full. Where else do you want to go? You've lost the support of the people. Government says they can't continue to back you. So what next? You just have to look at yourself and say, is it worth it? And now they are using financial dimensions to paint, or as they say, find a cloak to paint their dark designs. So why do you want to go through all of that trouble? It's unnecessary. And I think they have done their bit. We appreciate them. They have some moments to treasure. Let them do what is good. What is good is that let them say that Nigeria should have a better football culture, and we can start that by calling it a day. It will be historic. I expected them to go to the presidential villa, resign. That will have made the story. It will have been the headline globally. That a football federation went to the presidential villa and put in their resignation to show that they can take a decision about the game and its future. And I think that's what we should expect next week. Maybe when the network is better, we can elaborate on some of the dynamics of what it takes.
Instead of the network being better, Dr. Obi, we'd actually like to invite you personally to the studio, that day I can guarantee you the network will be perfect. I will guarantee you that network will be perfect.
Today is actually Feedback Friday.
Feedback Friday.
We're supposed to take a lot of feedback from people.
We'll be getting the feedback much later. we really have to go now. But Dr. Mitchell Obi, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. Always a pleasure having you because you always have some very interesting anecdotes to add to the game as well.